My journey with Configura began early summer of 2007 with a call out of the blue from Peter Branninger, who started at the Grand Rapids office and today is a Configura vice president. Peter introduced himself with an accent that I had a bit of trouble understanding. He asked if I had heard of Configura or CET Designer, and when I said no, the disappointment in his voice was evident. Yet, as optimistic Peter always does, he went on with his sales pitch. He explained that Configura was a successful Sweden-based software company expanding into North America and was beginning to work with Hayworth and other furniture manufacturers. And they were looking for someone to lead their support and training team in the Grand Rapids office. Now, at the time, I was self-employed and wasn't actively looking to get back into the furniture industry. I had been with a Knoll dealer for a few years and then at Herman Miller Corporate for 6. However, I love design technology, and I was a bit intrigued by the story of a little company from Sweden coming to the US with their sights on the office furniture industry. So I agreed to an interview without many expectations. Now, I need to disclose that my career at Herman Miller centered on their sales and design program at the time called Z-Access, and I loved Z-Access. I didn't think there could be a better software program. So I'm pretty sure I strutted into that interview with a chip on my shoulder in the shape of a capital Z. I met with Peter, Johan Learborn, and Kate Sword, one of our training partners. Kate showed me CET Designer, and it blew me away. The ease of use, the problem-solving capabilities, and this powerful concept called parametric graphical configuration, or PGC for short. So beginning on that day of June 2007, I had a new love in my life named CET Designer. Now, as all true love stories go, there have been ups and downs and twists and turns through the years. But I am even more in love with CET Designer today than I was in 2007. And a big part of that is because of all of you and the community that's been created. But I'll get back to that in a minute. So, the job interview. I accepted the position of CET Training and Support Manager, but what I did not realize is there's only 2 of us on that team in the Grand Rapids office, and man, did we have a lot of work to do. But since day one, I've been passionate about providing an excellent experience for our users, especially through our support and training team. And I believe this team has been crucial to our success, and I hope you agree. We are real people who care and want you to use CET Designer. And it's been rewarding to build a team that supports our global CET community 24 hours a day. Now, those early years were not easy. We were a small and determined company with big dreams, yet not many people knew about us. When we launched the Hayworth Extension Canvas, it was a tough sell because CET Designer was not only a new design program, but it also included only 2 of their new products in their extension. I remember we ran a promotion for a while. It was buy 1 CET Designer license and get 5 free. We literally could not give away the software. But gradually, something really interesting emerged. One by one, I started meeting partners, design managers, and users who were as smitten with CET as I was. These people were interesting, engaged, creative, and intelligent. I felt like I was part of the cool kids at school, and I was at home with my new like-minded friends. These early users saw the power of CET Designer. They wanted to use it and were invested in giving feedback to make it a better tool. Sure, there were moments of frustration and less than perfect releases, but it became a mission for all of us because we believed. Speaking of mission, the drive and determination displayed by Johan and Joran has never wavered. They championed CET from day one, and there was never a doubt in their minds that it should be used by all companies selling products with complex specification. They would not fail or be deterred. They were passionate about solving problems and making the lives of users more enjoyable, to improve efficiency with their partners, to streamline and simplify. This enthusiasm was embraced by everyone at Configura. This, how hard could it be? Attitude became the norm. And for all of us configurants, it has been a crusade. This energy and this enthusiasm created a ripple effect that has now spread PGC and CET Designer around the world. Back in 2008, we hosted our very first CET Designer user conference, which is now this grand event we call CET Experience. We had a small budget that first year, and it was held in the lower level of the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, and we had maybe 80 attendees. But it was a great learning event, and what a fantastic experience to gather with our users and partners in person. It was not just the networking, it was amazing to see the camaraderie where competitors shared information, tips, and tricks. I believe that very first conference was the seed that has blossomed into this fantastic CET community that we have today. A community of users, partners, developers, and configurants who care about each other and want to help each other succeed. We look forward to gathering together each year. The conference has been held in Las Vegas, Orlando, and Grand Rapids. And besides the learning part of the events, we've had Halloween parties, galas, scavenger hunts, really any reason we could come up with to celebrate our community and have fun together. The textbook definition of community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. We have over 16,000 people in our community around the world and over 900 participating in this virtual event. Yes, we're all users of CET Designer or CET Developer, but you know what else is really amazing about our community? We are all creative problem solvers, designing ideas and solutions that make spaces better designed, better functioning, and more beautiful. Our CET community is making a difference in this world, and what a collective and massive responsibility this is. This community is full of brilliant, problem-solving people wired to make a difference. You know, I see your projects, the amazing things you and your teams create every day, the beautiful offices, the expertly designed hospitals, the efficient warehouses and factories. You are designing spaces where people work, learn, grow, create, and connect. And this year was especially challenging for many of you that were on the front lines helping employers safely bring people into the office with reconfigured and safe work environments. Your work makes an enormous impact, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I also appreciate how generous and giving this community is, that you do things like mentor students at your local universities and teach them CET Designer, that you donate your time and design talent to organizations like Humble Design and Project Color Core. You do not sit by the sidelines, and it's inspiring to see. This has absolutely been my greatest joy of working at Configura, to make a difference by creating a community, an enjoyable place that allows us all to grow and succeed. I was thinking about some of my favorite keynote speakers at this event from past years that have challenged our community. Aisha Bursell was our keynote speaker way back in 2012, and she is still one of my favorite people in our community. In 2017, she was named to Fast Company's list of most creative people. She's designed products for companies such as Knoll, Herman Miller, Nike, and Tiffany. She is proof that creativity has no limits and taught us to use the design principles and design thinking we use every day in our work to design the life you love, because our lives need intentional structure, creativity, and a plan to make them work. Life itself is our biggest design project. Cheryl Durst was our keynote speaker in 2016, and she's the Executive VP and CEO of IIDA and a champion of all things design. She challenged us to recognize why we design, to make a contribution, to build connections and create a better world. She also challenged us to simply acknowledge that design matters. I really love IIDA's design manifesto, and this is my favorite part. Design provides and provokes. It has not prejudice. Design heals the heart, replenishes the soul, and ignites the mind. Suzette Sabance was our keynote speaker in 2017. She was Contract Magazine's Designer of the Year and is a studio design director at TPG Architecture in New York. Suzette's challenge to us was not to think negatively about all the what-ifs in our work, to not let ourselves be crippled by constraints and fear of the unknown, but to harness the power and see the what-ifs as positive, possible opportunities where we, as designers, developers, and engineers, can make a difference, to make more efficient spaces, to conserve energy, to specify recyclable and sustainable products. Collectively, our community is embracing those what-ifs to make a positive impact. So I want to thank all of you for making a positive impact every day in this community and your communities at home, to thank you for being a part of this journey with me, with all of us. Whether you've been part of our community since the beginning, or if you're new to the CET platform, thank you for supporting and participating in our growth, for challenging us to be better, and for being CET advocates at your companies. Thank you for being the creative problem solvers and change agents of the world. You are the reasons why we are celebrating 30 years of making a difference. and we look forward to continuing this journey together for many years to come. As I close, I'm pleased to introduce you to our next speaker, who I first met way back in 2008 when he was the winner of our rendering contest at the first CET Designer User Conference. He has been a valued and vocal member of the CET community ever since. Please welcome my good friend, Mr. Paul Riches.